What is going on YouTube? It's Justin Tries, and today we are going to be opening up 150 packs of Lost Origin, hopefully pulling at least 4 Cramorants, 4 Comfies, and who knows what else, honestly. But those are kind of the main things I want to go for, as I do want to try the Cramorant Charizard deck pretty bad. I'm hoping that I get a decent number of Zoroark V-Stars as well. Giratina, I know is the big deck. Obviously, getting Giratinas, I'm not going to complain. Um, but I'm not as interested in testing that at the moment. We'll see. Maybe once the Giratina prices drop, if the deck doesn't do as well. In real life, I'll be more interested, as that may be a deck that I will potentially play if it's good enough. But for now, since I'm playing Palkia, Ice Rider, more than likely, in some upcoming events. I'm not as worried about that, but I do want to test some of the other decks from Lost Origins as I am highly interested in them. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the pack opening. Since it is 150 packs, we do need to go ahead and get it started. So, let's see, we do have a chorus experiment. I did open 3 packs of this yesterday, so not everything is new on the screen. Um, but it was only 3 packs, so nothing too crazy. I believe I got a Kyurem V was the only like really good card I got out of it. So let's see what this Raichu does. I actually haven't even seen this despite opening a ton of packs in real life. Edge, your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. Ace Spark, 100 plus. If you've used your V-Star power, this attack does the 220 for 3 energies. Eh. The problem with it is it's a single prize Pokemon that you're going to have to play in a deck with something worth at least 2 prizes. So I don't really like that too much because the perk of being a single prize deck is that you are all single prizes. So for me, it's not really worth it. Let's see, what do we get? We got the, okay, Hisui and Sneasler, Radiant. So with that, the Poison Peak ability, during Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poison Pokemon. Um, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be great for right now, but if they do end up having any kind of poison format in the future where there's decks that can use that, I could see that being pretty decent. I could even see it potentially being used in expanded if that sticks around. However, I think most of us are hoping Gym Leader Challenge is what actually ends up sticking around. We have the Swim Freely Dugong. I don't know that Swim Freely is going to be very good, but hey, I'll build it if I get all the cards for it. Why not build it and test it out? Radiant Gardevoir, so back-to-back Radiant packs. Now, Radiant Gardevoir, I'm a little bit more interested in. In real life, unfortunately, this is the only Radiant I seem to be able to pull. I have pulled 4 Radiant Gardevoirs, and I am a Gardevoir fan, but why I don't need 4 Radiant Gardevoirs? Why? But anyways, Loving Veil. All of your Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. So this card is something that for now may be pretty good just because getting that 20 damage reduction is pretty important as far as other people being able to hit numbers on you for one-hit KOs and whatnot for taking 2 prizes, obviously. So messing up the damage numbers, pretty good. Now it does have an attack as well, Psychic. It's 70 plus. It does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, active Pokemon more specifically. So it does have an attack that's not completely useless, I guess. Um, Again, I don't really see much in the format that would be helping this Radiant Gardevoir out too much. Unless you're playing it with like Gardevoir or maybe um, with the Shadow Rider, maybe you could see it have an attack that pops off or something, but usually you're just better off attacking with anything else than just using the ability for the 20 less damage. I have not read Clefable yet. All your Pokemon take 30 less damage from Dragon Pokemon. Alright, let's see this for now. I mean, it beats Dialga, I guess. If you're doing a Lost Origin format only. But Mirage Gate is a big hit. We do want to see 4 of those. Oh my gosh, what a good pack. Look at that. Full Art Gudra V. That is another deck I wouldn't mind trying out. You know, being able to basically shut down a bunch of damage you'd be taking from your opponent. Snorlax is Unfazed Fat. Prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect, so everything but damage doesn't bother him at all. So That is good. He does Thumping Snore, does 180. This Pokemon is now asleep. During Pokemon Checkup, flip 2 coins instead of one. If either of them is tails, this Pokemon is still asleep. So very, very difficult to wake up from being asleep with that because you have higher odds of flipping a tail, at least in my opinion. So probably not very good. I don't honestly, I don't know why they had to add that stipulation. Just the going to sleep part makes it kind of rough enough, but okay. Misfortune Sisters, and an Electros. Let's see what we got going. A new Shuppet, a Lost Vacuum. We got a Comfy. Okay, good, good. We got a Comfy. I will actually say, I said that I want 4 Comfies. Um, I had a lot of pre-release kits, and I actually have 4 Comfies from the pre-release kits in the game. I just thought about that as I saw this card, so it's a great addition to get the reverse holo, but I'm just going to use the pre-release versions of that card. Bouffalant, Lost Headbutt for 3 energies, 50 damage. Put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon in the Lost Zone, so it's a little bit of energy control. However, the attack to me just doesn't do enough based on his hit point value. It's not good enough of a card in my opinion. But hey, who knows? Maybe in the future there will be some kind of energy control deck, and it will be good. Definitely possible. All right, there we go. That is one of the big hits that we wanted. Zoroark V-Star. Gotta get some Coke. I'm getting thirsty. So Zoroark V-Star, Tickling Curse 50 times for 2 colorless energies. Does 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any damage counters on it, or each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So with Hisui and Zoroark V-Star, you really want to use the new Gengar that just came out in Lost Origin. So when Gengar's in the discard pile, Um, you can put him onto your bench, and he'll have 3 damage counters on himself from that effect. And then obviously that puts a Pokemon that you have with damage counters on it. So that attack can definitely build up pretty quickly. And then his ability, Phantom Star, during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 7 cards. It doesn't end your turn or anything, so this is just a really good extender on one of your turns to just really get things going, build your board up, and just have a lot of pieces to combo with. So there is that. What does this do? So Viper, Sucker Punch, and turn 60 damage. Switches Pokemon with one of your bench dark Pokemon. Not very good. Okay, one ever see play. Great. I kind of liked the artwork at first, but can't really use it. It'll just be in the collection. So we do get a Darkrai. I didn't even realize there was a Darkrai in this set either. It does have Nightmare for a dark and a colorless. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep, 30 damage. Pitch Black Blade does 2 darks and a colorless for 130 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack, so this Pokemon is terrible, even in relations to um, Gym Leader Challenge. In my opinion, this is not going to be good enough to play. He does hit for 130, both him only having 120 hit points. That's not very good. 130 is the number you want to get to. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's other Darkrai's you could probably run. That would be better. All right, we got a long ways to go. I will start to go a little faster as we get through these and stop getting new cards. We did get a new Arezu though, secret rare. Search your deck for up to 3 evolution Pokemon that don't have a rule box. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is great for those single prize decks that maybe are running stage 1s and stage 2s. It just kind of gets you built up a little faster. This is a card that's very, very good in Gym Leader Challenge. Very, very good in that, in my opinion. So I know I'm playing it in all of my Gym Leader Challenge decks, um, but I also only have Psychic and Grass for now. So in both of those situations, it does actually make sense. Don't need a second Radiant Sneasler. Sableye, big pickup. We need at least 2 of these for our Cramorant deck. The main reason for Sableye is Lost Mine. You can use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in your Lost Zone. Put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. So it's 120 damage, but the fact you can put them anywhere you want for 1 energy, it's just really, really good. If you've been pecking away at things with Cramorants, um, maybe your Radiant Charizard did almost enough to knock something out. You can drop a Sableye, put one energy on it, use Lost Mine, might even potentially get 2 KOs with one attack. And in this format, a lot of times 2 KOs could mean 4 prize cards, so just something to keep in mind. Um, so moving on, let's see. Sometimes these Roserades are decent. He does Assassin's Rose, grass, colorless, 60 damage. If opponent's active is affected by a special condition, do 60 to a benched. Not very good. Fantina is an interesting card that is definitely used in the Gudra deck. If you use this card, you can only use this card if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. So you do have to have 10 cards in the Lost Zone already. But during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon have 120 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. So this can stop a lot of the big one-hit KOs that are coming from things like Giratina. Um, it can also help protect you against like Palkias very well. So that's just all, something to keep in mind with Fantina. So I could see some of the other decks potentially playing one just for protection of their Giratina, other than just Gudra decks. So another Comfy. And we don't really need those because, as I forgot at the beginning of the video, I did happen to open 4 of them using my pre-release kits. So, all right, Radiant Steelix. So we are getting all the Radiants, it seems. Not a whole lot of Vs yet, but that is perfectly fine. Radiant Steelix, 170 HP, pretty good, solid for a basic. Uh, Colorless Energy Stream does 20 damage, and you attach 2 Metal Energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Destructive Finish is 60 plus. Discard cards from the top of your deck until only one card remains. This effect does 30 more damage for each energy card you discarded this way. So with this attack, really the only way this deck is going to work is if you're playing a metal deck that recycles energies. In my opinion anyways, that's the only way you can make it work. Or I guess potentially if you're running metal mixed with something else that's like milling and discarding like a fire deck or something, because they like to discard a lot of energies. Then you can use a card like Energy Recycle to put 5 energies back into the deck. And then whenever you do that, obviously you do Destructive Finish, and you can do some big damage that way. So that's still, that's what, 210 with Energy Recycle. So you need even more to really do anything um, worth it. So hitting for 210, it's just a weaker, um, less reliable Charizard. In my opinion, you just play Charizard. I don't I don't see this card being worth playing personally. Mr. Mime sometimes has interesting stuff. You and your opponent play rock, paper, scissors until someone wins. If you win during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. That is, I personally don't like that effect. For like tournament purposes because there's a lot of people that cheat when they play rock, paper, scissors. There's some people that play with different rules and whatnot, but I don't think that's something that would come up anyways. So it really doesn't matter. It's just a fun little card. So let's see. We got the drum roll. We got a Gengar. Gengar's huge. And we got a Kyurem VMAX. Look at that. So Kyurem VMAX, 338 HP. 330 HP. Glaciated World. Once during your turn, you may discard the top card of your deck. If that card is a water energy card, attach it to one of your Pokemon. So if you have an ability or a way to stack your deck and put water energy on top, that's going to be a nice way to accelerate energy onto the board. And then for 3 water, does 120 plus damage. Max Frost. You may discard any amount of water energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 50 more damage for each card you discarded this way. So you can potentially hit for 270. Now, that's 10 damage short of the number everyone's looking for, which we all know Giratina gets to, which is why people are really thinking Giratina is going to be really good. If you have the choice band or whatever on, obviously, or choice belt, choice band, I can't remember which one it is, because I just got back into the game and, there's choice bands and choice belts, but either way, it does the extra 30 to Vs. You will need that in order to get that extra damage, unless you're playing, stuff that spreads damage first. So there's that. Gengar, though, this is what I was talking about playing. With the Zoroarks, you have the Netherworld Gate. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in your discard pile, you may put it onto your bench. If you do, put 3 damage counters on this Pokemon, so there's no coin flipping, no nothing. It just goes on your bench. You get 3 damage counters once per turn. So very, very good. Screaming Circle, put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So you can do up to 100 damage with this attack. So that's very good as well. Um, so yeah, just a very interesting Pokemon. For the most part, you won't really care too much about his attack. You may use it occasionally, potentially, but the main thing is he puts damage counters on himself, and then Hisui and Zoroark will come out and start smacking for big damage very quickly. So very good pack. We would love to see a few more of those. At this rate, Kyurem is probably our best bet for what we're going to build. Another Radiant Steelix, don't need it. Enamorous V. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon abilities done to each of your Pokemon that has any psychic energy attached, except any Enamorous V. So, something to consider with this, with Enamorous, it is for psychic energy. Now, if you notice, the Gengar was also psychic. So if you're running Gengar Zoroark, if you're going to run basic energies at all in your deck, you're probably going to run psychic. And this could potentially, um, save something like a Zoroark from abilities shutting them down. So that's something to definitely consider. Things like Miltank, you don't have to worry about that. Um, You don't have to worry about like Inteleons doing, 20 damage or whatever to you. So yeah, to me, that's a big deal. Um, but we'll see. It just kind of depends on how the format shapes up, what abilities we're seeing around. But I can see something like this becoming important, or if somehow a Mewtwo V Star deck finally is good, then again, this is something that would come up for that. So. But U2 V-Star, 270 like Kyron VMAX, kind of the issue with the card, in my opinion. So, Radiant Steelix don't need multiples, but there we are. We have it. I believe I saw a Gloom there. I noticed during the packs, I have opened a box. I've opened, um, I believe, two ETBs. Yeah, two ETBs, a box, and probably 8 pre-release kits, and I've pulled only 4 Glooms. I've pulled 4 Radiant Gardevoirs. So, Gloom, very rare in this set for some reason. Not entirely sure, but whatever. Clefairy, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot for each of your bench Clefairy, you may search your deck for a Psychic Energy card and attach it to that Clefairy, then shuffle your deck. Interesting. Okay. Probably not going to use it, but whatever. Make a Clefable deck. Another Moon Watching Party. Speaking of Gloom, there we go. Honchkrow, one of my favorite Pokemon. He does have Peck for 1 colorless for 20 damage. His second attack, though, is Night Cyclone. Does 160, move all energy from this Pokemon to your benched Pokemon in any way you like. So he is definitely, something to consider whenever you're thinking of something like Gym Leader Challenge. So, um, maybe it's hard to get those 3 energies onto him. However, 160, he's going to knock out just about anything. He is a 1 retreat cost, so not a high retreat cost. So, it's something to consider potentially for um, Gym Leader Challenge. Damage Pump, let's see what we got. We got a Shiftry, another new one to consider for a decent card. This is something that could be like a one-shot get them out of here kind of Pokemon in Gym Leader Challenge as well. Now, I don't recommend it because you're going into a stage 2 to kill something or to knock something out, and then you just disappear yourself. So you don't lose a prize, but it's a lot of work to not really have a huge reward except for gaining a prize on your opponent. But Fan Tornado, 50 damage. You may have your opponent switch their active with one of their benched. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of like a catcher ability and dealing 50 damage to the active that you're putting on the bench, especially if you're running any kind of a spread deck. Tearing Gust, though, 210 damage. Put this Pokemon in all cards attached to it in the Lost Zone. So, 1 energy. The problem is, again, you're going all the way up to stage 2 just to have him launch himself into the Lost Zone. So, eh, but it's a card. It's not the worst card I've ever seen by any means. Mirage Gate, big pickup, big pickup. We did get the Pikachu VMAX with Ash right on the front of the card. Look at this bad boy. Now, unfortunately, it's not the good Pikachu VMAX. It's not the flying Pikachu, but this one still looks cool. 310 HP, VMAX Volt Tackle, 120 plus. You may discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 150 more. So it falls into the same problem of 270. You're not one-shotting. Getting 3 electrics, not the easiest thing unless you run, Flaffies. So probably, just going to continue to not see play. We've all seen that card. It will not see play. Here we see Stonejourner. So Power Stone, attach up to 2 fighting energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. So that's actually really nice. It accelerates energy onto any Pokemon, not just himself. He does have a move called Lost Shot for fighting energy and 3 colorless. That's a lot of colorless. 3 colorless. There's 120 damage, which is for the top card of your opponent's deck in the Lost Zone. So that can actually be big though, especially if they're running anything. If you're in Gym Leader Challenge, for instance, get him built up. They could be running like Masharna and a Psychic deck. There's just different cards where people can kind of stack their deck the way they want. So that kind of prevents them from drawing into the card that they really thought they were getting or wanting. So it could hinder some people. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Ooh, Dynamo has Call Sign, which is a good move. I wish he didn't have 30 hit points, but Call Sign is not terrible. We are 20 packs in. Still no Cramorants. Cramorant is one of the big ones we want. All right, this was a decent pack. So Lake Acuity reduces damage by 20 to any of your water or fighting, or any Pokemon that has water or fighting attached. Spiritomb, really cool character art here. You can even see the reflection in the window, so that's really neat. But if this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So basically, if he's knocked out, you're almost just like giving up a prize to get any card out of your deck. Now, in a two-prize format, if your deck runs a lot of two-prizers, running a Spiritomb doesn't really hurt. It doesn't change the prize math at all for your deck. So putting a Spiritomb up front, if you don't feel like they have a boss's order or anything like that, isn't the worst play in the world because you can search out any card in your deck that may get you out of any kind of sticky situation. So, you know, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be really played much. I just don't see it happening. But, um, you know, it's not the worst card again that I've ever seen. Spiritomb can eventually hit for what 190, I believe, 60, 120, 180, 190. Yeah, so for 2 dark energies, you can do 10 plus 60 more for each Spiritomb in your discard pile. So you can only have up to 3, obviously. But that makes it 190 damage for 2 energy. So you could potentially do like 190, get knocked out, grab a card you want, and then start swinging with all your big stuff. So Barbarical, your opponent puts any prize cards they would take into the Lost Zone instead of in their hand. Very interesting control card. If you're playing any kind of like hand control deck or anything, it just kind of further adds to it because a lot of times people will get the prize card once you've, Roxanne or something, and then they get that prize card, and then they draw their card again for turn next turn. Now all of a sudden they've got 4 cards in hand. This way you can kind of keep them at 3. Or like I've been talking about, 2 prize format, everyone's taking 2 prizes all the time. Instead of them having an extra 2 cards and having 4 and then drawing into number 5, you have a Baracle, so they still only have 3 instead of 5 cards in hand. So just something to consider. Oh, we got a Gallade V, another card I haven't seen yet. Rising Sword. This attack does 50 more damage for each prize card you have taken. Interesting. So that can do a lot of damage. Just throwing that out there. So that can do up to 250 damage, plus the 270. Again, 10 short of the real numbers that we're all looking for, of the 280. But anyways, he can hit for 270 potentially as like a last ditch. Just throw him out there, get two energies on him very quickly, and swing. And then Buster Swing for 3 energies, 130 damage. This attack damage isn't affected by resistance. Terrible attack. You'd only use it for Rising Sword. I'm not going to use it, so it is what it is. We got a Parasect. Lethargy Spores. When you play this Pokemon from your hand, you evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn. You may make both active Pokemon asleep and poisoned. Interesting. If you have a way to get out of the active, or if you're not affected by any like special conditions, um, that's an option. I believe there's a grass energy, like aroma energy or something that, can protect your Pokemon. Um, Maybe more of like a gym leader challenge style card, but there's uses, maybe not the best uses, but there are uses for it. So there is that. And he can potentially swing for 100, which is okay. With the poison and stuff that he does, it adds up to doing the damage you really want to do. All right, so this is a very good pack. We got a Cinescorch VMAX, another card I haven't seen yet. 320 HP. I believe this is a character art based on seeing the guy walking on the Cinescorch VMAX. For two colorless, there's Gmax Cintaferno, 40 plus. This attack does 40 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. If you did any damage with this attack, you may attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So he just builds up and adds up until he just does enough to kill everything. So at a bare minimum, he does 40 damage, but in the perfect world, you're doing 120 for two fire energies. Um, obviously that part's not very good, but if you're able to accelerate the fire energies onto the Cinescorch VMAX, he accelerates them onto himself as well. Um, it could potentially be okay. You just got to have a way to accelerate the energy fast enough to make it deal enough damage to really make it worth it. And I think it's going to take too many energy probably to make it worth it. So there's that. But here's the star of the set, the card that everybody's looking for, Giratina V-Star, 280 hit points, Lost Impact, Grass Energy, Psychic Energy, Colorless Energy, the number I keep talking about, 280 damage. You put 2 energy attached to your Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Now, a key thing to think here or remember here, it says put 2 energy attached to your Pokemon in the Lost Zone. It doesn't have to be attached to Giratina, so if you have other Pokemon on your bench, along the lines of Articuno, that when you play them, put 2 energy onto them from your hand, anything that accelerates energy to the bench, stuff of that nature, you can just use those cards, get the energy on the bench, and then keep swinging with your Giratina. So that's something to consider. Now, you're still losing 2 energy to the Lost Zone. So the big thing with Giratina is, are you going to run out of energy? If I'm over here doing energy control, making you discard energies off your Pokemon, stuff of that nature. I don't know if Crushing Hammer's in the current format. I haven't looked, but Crushing Hammer's in usually in most formats somewhere along the lines. Maybe people aren't playing it because right now you don't need to. Everyone's energy cost for their attacks is just super low for the most part, all of the competitive stuff. So but in this case, they're losing energies permanently in the Lost Zone. It requires 3 energies. If I'm popping energies, um, especially what was it? I can't remember the name of who it was earlier, but there's somebody that one of the Pokemon that I looked at earlier, detaches an energy from them and puts it in the Lost Zone. So that's something that could definitely counter a deck like Giratina, depending on how meta this deck really gets. I still personally think Palkia is going to be better. Any deck with Palkia, Palkia Inteleon, Palkia Ice Rider, Arceus is probably still going to be better. So yeah, Giratina hits the number. It'll be a good deck. I think it will be solid, but it's going to be more like it'll be like tier 1.5 maybe. maybe two. I don't think it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be like Rayquaza was. So yeah, Giratina, good card. I do think it's getting a little bit overhyped though. So next pack, we have a long ways to go. We will start getting through these faster because we will eventually stop getting new cards. Third Mirage Gate, big pickup. As I talk about new cards, we got another new one. Magnezone V-Star, 270 hit points. For an electric and two colorless, you have Magnetic Grip. That is 180 damage. Search your deck for two item cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck so you can search your deck for any two item cards and deal 180 damage. Not terrible. And the V-Star power, two electric energies, Electro Star, does 90 damage to two of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So the active doesn't take any damage. You also don't apply weakness and resistance. So you're doing 180 for 2 energy, but it's only 90 to each. I just don't see it working. He's got 270 hit points, which we've noticed a lot of cards do 270. A lot of the good cards have 280. So Magnezone, he's going to fall to all those other cards that are trying to fight in the format that might sneak out a few tops, but aren't going to be the most consistent deck swinging for over two or for 280 or more. And then also Magnezone doesn't hit the damage numbers that you need to hit. So spread, if there's a spread deck that gets big that plays electric, maybe getting those double knockouts could be huge, especially on VMAXs. But for now, I just don't see Magnezone being very good. I'll build a deck at some point around him if I get all the cards for it, but as far as like actual relevant meta goes, I don't see it being that great. Uh, Rhyperior, 190 HP, single prize, 190. That's a lot. He is a stage 2. Geocannon does 50 plus for 1 fighting energy. Discard the top card of your deck. If that card is an energy card, this attack does 100 more damage. So 150 damage potentially for 1 energy. You discard an energy with the attack and attach that card to this Pokemon. So you get an energy attachment and you do an extra 100 damage, so you do 150 damage for 1 energy. And once you have 4 energies, you can do Rocky Tackle, do 180, does 30 to himself. Not terrible, not going to be good either. So, Electric. When you play this Pokemon for your hand, evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn. You may flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active is now paralyzed. Interesting. So that gives you another Pokemon in the Electric Gym Leader Challenge decks to paralyze just by evolving. They've Raichu and Electric. However, you're always going to use the other Electric for the ability. We got a second Spiritomb, character art, and a Goodra. Metal Lodging. Prevent all damage done to each of your basic Pokemon that has metal energy attached by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V. Now, this card is not good. And the only reason why I say that, or the main reason why I say that, is it prevents damage done to each of your basic Pokemon that has metal energy attached. That just hurts so bad because he doesn't protect himself. What does that mean? It means boss's orders, one shot, get done, keep it moving. So Gudra, not very Gudra. So now one thing that is good about it is it does again say basic Pokemon. So it could be a basic Pokemon V that you have that maybe you don't want to run anything higher. Something like oh, who was it? I mean, some people like Duraludon or whatever. He's not very good. Aggron V though, which topped at Worlds, I believe it was. I believe it got top 16. If you wanted to run Aggron, because Aggron V is better than VMAX, but people just run the VMAX for the HP. You could, if they don't have a boss's order, I mean, you put that metal energy on your Aggron, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Not a lot. Not a lot. They got to find the bosses. So I could see some use for it for sure. Um, But yeah, that's kind of it for that. All right, moving along here. The Parasect, keep it moving. Right, what do we got? What do we got? We got a Landorus. He's terrible. Won't even see play in Gym Leader Challenge. We got a Chandelure, which I've also pulled two of those in real life, and a Beautyfly. So I'm actually testing this in my Grass Gym Leader Challenge deck because I feel like drawing until you have 6 cards in your hand isn't terrible. Gym Leader Challenge Stage 2's not bad. There's not very many cards that switch up your Pokemon from your bench, so Beautyfly is not terrible. You can reduce damage. Yes, it does have 130 hit points, which is what everybody kind of tries to hit for. But if they don't hit for that, he does have some built-in self-healing. He's only one retreat cost, so I am testing it. I do have a Gym Leader Challenge tournament this weekend that I'm going to. I probably will be using this. It's actually tomorrow. So I'll probably be keeping that in the deck. It's between that or running the Sceptile line, which obviously you can search out Pokemon, but I am running the Torterra, which does the same thing on the middle evolution. So, but you can never search too much. So, but I'm liking the Beautyfly, so got that for now. All right, let's see. We got double Hisuian Arcanines. Interesting. Very vulnerable. Is a pretty good attack. It pretty much dominated the pre-release format. So there's the regular Spiritomb. We still have not seen a Cramorant yet. Interesting. On Cramorants. Hey, we got a full art Nessa. So Nessa will be used in Gym Leader Challenge decks more than likely for water, obviously. Put up to 4 in any combination of water Pokemon and water energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Your hand. So you can get back very important basics that you would have in your discard pile from getting knocked out. Since you can only run everything as a one of, this will help you get back things like Manaphy that protect your bench. If they were able to use boss's orders or Lysander, whatever, to pull up that Manaphy, then you can Nessa to get that Manaphy back, drop it back on your bench, give yourself that protection. Huge addition to the Gym Leader Challenge format for water, in my opinion. And that deck was already very good. I know at least for me, I would run it like 100% guaranteed. Also, getting the energy for any kind of acceleration. Um, you could potentially just add 4 water energy to your hand and dump all 4 onto the field. Like, okay. So, or in some cases, Shining Volcanion, I believe, if I remember correctly, takes 3 water energy to attack. Add Shining Volcanion back, add back 3 energies, drop the Shining Volcanion, play all 3 energies, and then get him to the active and start swinging again. So, very good card for Gym Leader Challenge. I don't think it's going to be super useful in actual like game play, actual meta decks, but hey, I could be wrong. Maybe I use it in Ice Rider, Palkia, who knows? Eternatus V, 220 hit points. It does have a single colorless energy. Power Accelerator does 30 damage. Attach a dark energy card from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. Eh. Dynamax Cannon does 120 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a VMAX, it does 120 more damage. That's only 240. And guess what? With a choice band, it's only 270. Not very good. So won't see any play. In my opinion, anyways. Macargo. So he has lost Volcano, 220 damage, but all energy attached to this Pokemon in the Lost Zone. I don't see this being good unless you have some insane way of accelerating energy from the Lost Zone onto your Pokemon. Now, if they release a card that does that in the next set, which I don't foresee based on the way that they've released Lost Zone mechanics in the past, um, I just don't see this being very good. Let me get some water real quick. Another comfy. Would rather it be a Cramorant. In real life, I got the 4 Cramorants and only have 3 comfies out of all the packs I've opened. So, but Chandelure, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Terrible. Not very good. It's just not good at all. Nope. Thornton, on the other hand, I think is sneaky good, and I think people are sleeping on this card. There were times in the past where like Ninja Boy saw play back in the day. I could see Thornton really making a move, especially in a deck like Aggron V. People like Aggron V. If you have something else built up, you can switch, your Aggron V from your discard pile onto your bench, get rid of whatever else. So what Thornton does is choose a basic Pokemon in your discard pile, switch it with one of your basic Pokemon in play, any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So um, obviously, at least in my opinion, you would only use this if as long as there's no special conditions or anything on you. But get a basic Pokemon from your discard pile and switch it with one in play. So with that, maybe you have a Radiant Pokemon in play that you don't care about, or you have a Crobat V. You don't want to just have Crobat V chilling on your bench, being useless. You don't have the energies to attack with it. He's just a free 2 prizes with his 128 or 180 HP. Maybe you got a V star in your hand you want to do. Um, Play Thorntons. Easy as that. Get rid of your basic Pokemon you don't need, like a Crobat, like a Lumineon, like a Radiant that you just don't need at this point. Maybe you're too late in the game, don't want to use Greninja's ability anymore. Thornton. Also, Thornton. Great Pokemon to use it with. Charizard. If you're running Charizard, you're running Thornton. Cramorant Comfy decks, if you're not running Thornton with Cramorant Comfy Charizard, you're running it wrong in my opinion, because you can then get your Charizard out easier multiple times without having to put it back in your deck and add it to hand another way or anything. You just play Thornton, put it back on your bench. And on top of that, if you have Fire Energy already accelerated onto a Pokemon, you can then use that ability, and now you have a Charizard that's already got all the Fire Energy it needs built up. So, yeah, I think Thornton is very good. Um, Very, very good. So keep an eye out for Thornton. I think you'll see a decent number of players playing that card. Um, yeah, just that's just how I see it. So I think that card's better than people are making it out to be. I pulled a full art Thornton, very happy about it. We do see the Ice Rider actual horse here. Glastrier, I don't know how to actually say that, but freeze down, 40, if defending Pokemon's a basic, it's attack, can attack. Okay, so not very good. 130 damage, but he does 30 to himself. Still not very good. And Gym Leader Challenge, because while doing 130 is great, dealing 30 to himself, terrible. There's already a bunch of spread that goes around. You don't want to do that. Once during your turn, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. If you do, put this Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Discard all attached cards. So you would put him and the Shuppet into the Lost Zone, giving you 2 cards in the Lost Zone, and then all the other cards would be attached, like energies or items, go to the discard pile. So not bad. Um, doesn't count as a knockout, so it searches any supporter you want. I've seen worse. It's probably not great, but I've seen worse. You could use it actually in like a psychic GLC deck if you wanted, just to be able to search out whatever supporter you want during certain situations. That's what I really like about the Gym Leader Challenge format is there's just so many different things you can incorporate into a deck. So we got our first Gudra V. We got a second Radiant Gardevoir. We have like 2 of every Radiant now. So kind of useless to have more than one, but maybe since it's so early, we can throw them on the trade block. Another reverse hollow Chandelure. Still no Cramorants, I might add. We are running short on crams here. Alright, Malamar, Hisuian Zoroark. This one is not as good. At the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out, but all they have to do is switch, and it will not be. Put a card from your discard pile to your hand for 1 energy. Eh. Malamar Synchro Kinesis 30 plus. Each player reveals their hand. If a card in your opponent's hand has the same number or same name as a card in your hand, this attack does 90 more damage. Not very good. 80 damage for 3 energy is awful, so no. Just a terrible card. Alright, here we go. Area Dose. Haven't even seen this one. String Bind. This like a string bean? I don't understand what is going on with that, but okay. 30 damage for each, basically each energy and the retreat cost. Okay. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned for 3 energies and only 80 damage. Move on. Cold's Experiment, very good. I haven't gone over that one yet, but Cold's Experiment was a supporter that was in the previous pack. Basically, what it does is you draw 5 cards and then keep 3 in your hand, put the other 2 into the lost zone of those 5. So, Lordly Song Leader on this Politoed does 10 plus. If Poliwag is on your bench, it does 60 more. If Poliwhirl is on your bench, it does another 90 more. If Poliwrath is on your bench, it does another 120 more. This is very difficult to like pop off with, but I mean it can deal a bunch of damage. Deal a bunch of damage. It just needs to find a way to consistently set up. Oceanic Component. Okay. Got Cresselia. Move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponents. That's actually not terrible. Hmm. For 1 energy? I could see in Gym Leader Challenge that being very good because of all the spread damage going around. You can drop a Cresselia, put 1 energy on it, take heal all of your Pokemon for 2, and then put it all into one of your opponents. You could get some knockouts pretty easy with that in Gym Leader Challenge. The 110, kind of weak, but again, the Moonglow Reverse I think is just so good, especially if you're running like Gengar in your GLC deck or something like that. I could see it getting played. I could even see it potentially being like a one of in the Hisuian Zoroark V-Star deck. Again, 1 energy, you're already playing Psychics anyways, more than likely. So there you go. This is a single prize, so again, in a deck like Hisuian V-Star, you're not really affecting the prize payout too much. Speaking of, Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, speaking of him, there is a second one. We only need a few more. That's the deck that I don't think it's going to be that good, but I just love Zoroark and Gengar, so can't really go wrong with that. Um, I just want to build a deck purely because of the Pokemon that are involved in it. And it's not the worst decks, the worst deck in the world. So a third Radiant Gardevoir. There we go. This Cresselia looks a lot better. Still 0 Cramorants, by the way. But next, we got a Collapsed Stadium, which is a card. Got an opal, flip 2 coins, search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of heads, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. Not very good. You could play a supporter card and literally gain 0. You could just be minus 1ing by playing this opal. Not good. Not good. You think about it this way. Flip 2 coins, search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of heads, put them in your hand. The supporter card said search 1 card out of your deck. Would you play it? I don't know that I would. I personally wouldn't. I would rather just draw 5 cards. I think, at least for me, usually my decks are built a little bit more consistent. Um, so searching 1 card isn't going to be as useful as drawing 5 of them. The number of item cards that are good right now, it just seems terrible. Because on average, you're getting 1 card. So if you high roll and get 2, great. Played twins, basically. So Champ, this is another big card of the set. I did happen to get like 6 of these in a row out of pre-release kits. Wasn't happy about it. But anyways, Machamp, I also have pulled several. Machamp has 150 HP. This will more than likely be used in Gym Leader Challenge in different scenarios, so choose to use it. Crisis Muscles. If your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, this Pokemon gains 150 HP. So that's right, 300 hit points on a single prize Pokemon. 2 energies, both fighting. Strong Arm Lariat does 100 damage. You may do 100 more damage. If you do during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. So you get to choose. Do you want to do 200 damage or do you want to do 100 damage? It's up to you. Not bad though, especially if you can get him out of the active spot and then put him back in. Okay, so that's pretty good. Moving along. We really need to see Cramorants here. We need Cramorants bad. Poliwrath do anything? No, so Poliwrath doesn't do anything with getting all the stuff onto our bench. That Politoed deck's probably just the biggest stretch possible. And his attack only does 90 damage, so Clefairy is putting its own energy from the deck onto these Pokemon and then terrible. 20 damage to each of your psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So the Clefairy is a better attacker than the Clefable. Clefairy can accelerate for the Shadow Riders. How about that? To deal more damage. I've pulled more hollow Spiritombs than I've pulled Cramorants, which are not even hollows. We've pulled more Giratina V-Stars. We've pulled 2 of those now. Um, big hit though. Big hit. Wasn't really planning on playing that deck, but you know what? It's here. We might as well. So let's keep it moving. A lot of Clefables. Every one of these Clefables could have been a Cramorant. Instead, they're all Clefables. There's our first Cramorant. Finally, a singular Cramorant. We will probably have to trade for some of them since 150 packs probably isn't enough to pull four of just a rare Cramorant. Just four. Anyways, if you have 4 more cards in the Lost Zone, very easy to do. Ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack cost. So, for 2 waters and a colorless, Spit Innocently does 110 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness. However, whenever you have the 4 cards in the Lost Zone, it's a free attack for 110 damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also a single retreat, so very easy to get out of the active if you need to, but probably won't really need to. Chorus Experiment Revert. Chorus Experiment Full Art. How about that? What a pack. We got a reverse and a full art Chorus Experiment. That card will see play. I'm happy to get the full art there. We got 95 packs left, boys. 95 packs. Let's see. We're going to accelerate these pools a little bit, though, here. Another Beautifly. Hoping to see 3 more Crams. Let's do it. Pull some more full art supporters. We got plenty of comfies. We're going to throw those babies on the trade block since we got 4 of the regular ones, and people do want those. Let's see here. Oh, we got 2 card Arcanine, and it's the very vulnerable one. I would like to run a very vulnerable Radiant Venusaur deck of some sort. I just need to figure out how to build it, how I want to put that deck together, but that is a deck that I'm very interested in trying to attempt to play. Malamar, go, Sojourner, they swim freely. It's during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Okay, so Minion just protects itself, but only does 10 damage, so it never does anything. Gift Energy. This provides a colorless energy, but if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. So the only problem with that one is damage from attacks. Putting counters on things doesn't count as damage from attacks. Also, abilities such as Inteleon's 20 damage that he always does, put 2 damage counters on whatever. Again, won't be affected by it. So another Nemorous. See what our two cards are, Glisor and Olo. Discard one of your bench Pokemon V and all attached cards. Okay, get rid of Crobat V. That's really all that card's there for. I mean, if you have stuff that's damaged pretty big, I guess you could use it for that too. We got the Chorus Experiment, we got the Reizu, Hisuian Basculegion for no energy, upstream spirits, 20 damage, each basic energy card in your discard pile, then shuffle those cards in your deck. So not only does, I mean, he can't hit hard the next turn, but if you were to play him in like Gym Leader Challenge, for instance, he hits really hard. And he shuffles the cards back, so that's not terrible. If you have anything that discards energy for the attacks, or if you're just late in the game, you want to shuffle those energies back in. So not bad. And he hits for 70, discards energy to try to accelerate damage for his starting attack. Honestly, I think that attack would be better if it cost more, or if it said discard all. Does it say discard all? Nope, and energy from this Pokemon. If it said discard all energy, that would actually not be a bad attack because you could accelerate onto it with Blastoise, or Frostmoth, and that would allow you to discard a bunch of energies, and then the next turn use the upstream spirits. So, anyways, Porygon 2, garbage attack. It's a garbage attack. Colorless energy 20 times. For each Poketool in the Lost Zone. Not very good. All right, next pack. I promise we'll start speeding up here soon. We have a million Chorus Experiments, a million Comfies, several Cresselias, another Magnezone V-Star. That's number 2 for Magnezone V-Stars. We got an Ariados. Could have been a Cram. The stocks. Everything good. So continue to open packs though. A Mimikyu. Haven't seen this one. A little Pikachu drink. Perplex. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. Worst gift. This attack does 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. Hmm. That could actually not be terrible. That could actually be decent. The worst gift part, especially being a single prize Pokemon. If you're putting stuff onto the bench, they're switching stuff out. They have stuff with a bunch of damage counters on them, like a Mew VMAX or something. It's actually not bad. 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So every damage counter, especially if you're doing spread damage or anything, that could actually add up very, very fast. Spread damage Psychic deck, maybe, and Gym Leader Challenge would use it as well. And they already have some really good spread damage dealers, so honestly, I might consider that. I might consider that. I need to go through the cards that I've pulled and see if I actually pulled one of those. I don't recall if I pulled a Mimikyu or not. Got a Poliwrath. We have Glacier. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Come on, baby. Give me some more V-Stars. Give me some Zoroarks. Give me some Cramorants. We got a Gudra V-Star. That's still something that's good to have. Again, I wouldn't mind building that deck, but as of right now, we're kind of just getting bits and pieces of every deck and not enough of any one deck. The Misfortune Sisters, I think, is terrible. Look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. Discard any number of item cards you find there. Your opponent shuffles the other cards back into the deck. Terrible. Terrible, terrible card, in my opinion. Absolutely terrible. The only way that card is good is if you're running some kind of a mill deck, as it just gets you to the end faster. So, like Durant, maybe. Maybe. Alright, we got 2 cards. Escalation, Delphox. I've pulled 3 Delphox Vs in my box and stuff that I got too. Just absolutely awful. I have just the worst luck. I've just been pulling the same cards over and over again. There's all these other great cards, and I've just pulled the same ones over and over. All right, so we have Shift Tree. Okay, that's right, you. Ah, good. Lysor. We're about halfway through. The second half, again, it's going to go significantly faster. As you see right now, I already have pretty much all these cards. Not much point of talking about them. Second Cramorant, huge pickup there. Two more Cramorants needed for the deck. I believe we've already gotten all the Mirage Gates we need and all that kind of stuff. So what we're looking for now is just like V stars and Vs, full art supporters. Um, anytime we can get Cramorant right now, please, two more Cramorants. Kingdra, not a bad card either. Team Leader Challenge format, I really like this card. He hits the main number 130. Also can hand fix you. Also can lower your opponent's hand count if they have a big hand going on from taking prizes and they just happen to have like, 8 to 10 cards in hand. Their bench is full. They're just building up all these cards to kind of just not have a chance to lose against you, basically. So it's just an option. Oh my gosh, how many comfies are we gonna pull? This is like torture. In real life, I had to buy a singular comfy off TCG Player. Fortunately, I don't have a code, or else I'd give it to you. Another full art Hisuian Gudra V. So we're getting the Gudra stuff. Halfway there on the Gudra stuff, anyway. All right, Parasect Stonejourner. I wonder if we'll pull anything that we need to actually finish one of these V-Star decks, or are we just going to end up having a bunch of 50% decks that we need to trade for stuff? Which if we do, I have a lot of packs to trade, not of Lost Origin, obviously, because I'm opening every one of them, but I do have packs of previous sets that I can trade. That is our second Sableye. That was a huge pickup. Don't have to go trade for that now. So very happy I got that. We literally have too many Colorless Experiments. The Pikachu, very nice. Do like the artwork on that one. We have, what do we have here? Another Radiant Sneasler. Are the edges messed up on that one? Okay. Thought I had some rough edges. All right, some edge wear on the online TCG Player. Realistic. Nothing. Hey, a reverse Cramorant. There we go. We got 3 Cramorants. We only need one more. Or 3 reverses would be great. I would take that. Get 3 reverse hollow ones would be quite neat. Did you have V? Not even worth reading. I'm just going to go ahead and say, bad card, terrible card, won't see play, never will, basically doesn't exist. I did pull one in real life. I was also not thrilled for that. I can already tell you we'll probably pull a Purse Seeker or whatever at some point. Won't be thrilled about that either. So those are 2 cards I don't care about in the set, not one bit. Pretty much will do anything not to have those. So Hoopa, Hand of Djinn or Hand of Jin. Search your deck for a dark energy card attached to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So he has nice energy acceleration for like a Gym Leader Challenge format. Not gonna be good enough for like normal format in my opinion. But Gym Leader Challenge, I could see the energy acceleration being decent. Unfortunately, instead of this attack saying 130, it says 100. That might be what keeps this card from being good, and you would just use a different Hoopa. If there's a Dark Hoopa or another Pokemon that does 130 damage. I haven't looked that deep into the Dark Pokemon, so maybe he's good enough. Maybe he's good enough. I just don't see it. It's not even, if it's 120, there's some items to get you past that point, but it's not even 120, so. We're in a little bit of a dry spell here of good cards, but come on, we can turn this around. Well, we got 2 new cards here. So Trevenant, if this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack, from your opponent's Pokemon V. Your opponent can't take any prize cards for it. So he's kind of like a free single prize Pokemon to put out there that does 150 damage if they're using Pokemon Vs to attack. Beetle, jamming attachment. You play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. During your turn, you may attach up to 3 energy cards from your opponent's discard pile to your opponent's active Pokemon, and then he has Mysterious Wave for double colorless, 30 plus. This attaches 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So basically, he does 180 damage just by playing himself and putting a DCE on him. There's a lot of cards that deal more damage based on the amount of energy on the opponent's active Pokemon, so it is not a bad card. A second Crisis Muscles Machamp. Let's see. Have another Radiant Gardevoir. We got our 4th Cramorant, so we are safe. Safe on that front. Now all we need, give us some beautiful full arts, some V-Stars, and some Vs, so we can build some fun decks. Alright, that's all we're looking for at this point is full arts, Vs, and V-Stars. Don't need any more Parasects. We have like 100. Fargo, Honchkrow. We have literally a million Colossus Experiments. Might be able to put those on the trade block, like 4 for 1 pack. We got another Hisuian Zoroark V-Star. Can't remember if this is number 2 or 3. It's number 3. We have 3 of these. Now, I don't recall seeing the Vs. That is the problem. But those should be cheaper. So, our first non-holo Lost City. Wow. Rare card. Apparently, we have 3 Radiant, 3 of every Radiant, at least, and 1 Lost City. But I do believe we got a reverse foil earlier of it, but come on. We got a Banette. Snorlax and Delphox. That's not the V I was talking about wanting. Video game. Come on. Another Radiant Sneasler. We do not need a playset, as you can only run 1 per deck, as it is a Radiant. Another reverse Comfy, so if I just choose to like reverses over regular holos, which I won't, I could do that. Chandelure. Terrible card, but we're getting lower on the packs. 35. Give us some Zoroark Vs. Another Giratina V-Star. We do have 3 of those bad boys now, but not many of the Giratina Vs. We're seeing a lot of the V-Stars and not the Vs. I don't know what's going on with that. Honestly, that is kind of strange to me. I do kind of wish that we were like the Japanese packs where when you pull the V-Star, you pull the V with it. That would be awesome. That is our second VMAX Kyurem. We do have a Kyurem V. Do need more. Probably 1 more VMAX, I believe. Our first Zoroark V, but it's better than 0. I will take it. If we could get another 1 or 2 more of those, that would be pretty crucial. Our 4th V-Star. So we have plenty of Hisuian Zoroark V-Stars. We don't need any more of those. We just need the V. Just the regular V. And I don't think those are going to be too expensive on the trade block either, so I think we can pick those up. Another of the Pikachu, another Greedent. It is our first Greedent that wasn't reverse, but Greedent is just not a good card, so I won't waste your time. 3rd Machamp. So if there is any kind of a Machamp deck, likes to just swing for 200 every turn, find it. Pyroar, interesting card if you have a way to burn stuff very easily. During Pokemon checkup, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's burn Pokemon instead of 2. He does do 90 damage for 3 energies. If you flip heads, they're burned. Main thing that you would be able to partner this with, though, is something like, well, Litleo actually burns Pokemon. On top of Litleo, though, you do have the Arcanine, Hisuian Growlithe, for no energy, burns the opponent's Pokemon. It was great in the pre-release. Probably won't be great in meta though. Shift tree reverse. Dugong. We're in another dry spell here, it seems. The second character art, Hisuian Arcanine. Do like that. If we can get two more of those, I wouldn't be upset. So are we gonna get terrible cards? Absolutely terrible cards. Okay. We got a Gallade V character art. Second or second one, I believe. Another Comfy. We will be trading the heck out of those. So after opening this, I will be going to hopefully make some trades, get some cards that I really, really want, and build some fun decks. And then I do plan on making some videos using those decks, like the Zoroark deck, like the Cramorant Charizard Comfy deck, apparently Giratina because I've pulled so many of them. Holy smokes, we have 5 Radiant Sneaslers. 5. You can only use one. We have 5. Um, holy cow. Whatever, I guess. There's the Berserker I was talking about not wanting. I knew I would get at least one. Getting down to the low numbers. We're down to 14 packs remaining. We get any more. That's our first Magnezone V. First one. We have multiples of the V-Star. Strange set to give us a bunch of V-Stars and not the Vs. Our 6th Sneasler? 6? 6? Really? Come on. We got the, I don't know if it's Ice Can, I don't know how to say it. It's not a good card. Draw 2 cards. If you have a Hisui and you draw 2 more, draw 4 cards. Not good enough to me. Yes, you can play it when you have a big hand or whatever, but I just no. Just no. Not doing it. Um, let's see, what do we get? A third Delphox V. This is just like real life. Terrible. Terrible. We do not want those. Drapion V, on the other hand, definitely like this as a one of in a lot of decks. Only because of the Mew VMAX deck. I like as a tech as just a one of. I don't want to run a bunch of it because you don't want to start with it if you're not running a deck that can utilize this. Um, but what he is great at, or great for, is he can one-shot Mew VMAX. This Drapion V's ability is Wild Style. This Pokemon's attacks cost 1 star less for each of your opponent's Single Strike, Rapid Strike, and Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. So whenever they're playing the Mew deck, they have those all over their board. The whole thing, usually 6 or 5, either way, that makes it free. So basically Dynamic Tail against those decks for no energy. Against the Mew, you're hitting 190, then you're hitting Weakness. Weakness will make you one-shot those Mew VMAXs, so it's a free 3 prizes. And this attack also does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You do another 60, doesn't say bench. Also does 60 damage to one of your Pokemon. So you do 60 to one of your Pokemon, not a huge deal, honestly, in my opinion. You do 60 to one of yours, you one-shot a 3 prize Pokemon for no energy. Just drop them out there, bam. I mean, it's not bad. So definitely a card I could see getting some play. Another Comfy, more trade bait. We got a second Hisuian Zoroark V. Hisuian Zoroark V. Very good, very nice. Got another reverse Colress. Have 8 packs remaining. Let's see what we can get. Can we get one more Zoroark V in these remaining 7 packs now? Please give us the Zoroark V. It would be greatly appreciated. We got another Gudra V Star. We got 2 of those now. Interesting. We're just getting like halves of a lot of decks. Some of these decks you won't run 4 of the V Star anyways, so that's fine. Like the Giratina, you probably won't run 4/4, I wouldn't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't think that's a card you want to run 4/4 of. Probably more like a 4/3, which we have 3 of the V-Star. But I don't even know if we pulled any of the Vs, honestly. So, let's see. We got a Secret Rare Zoroark V-Star. So that is Zoroark V-Star number 5. But I will take it as it's shinier than the other ones. However, I like the artwork of the normal one, so I'll probably trade the secret rare version for something we want. Another Cinescorch VMAX. Interesting, but not interesting enough to actually be used. We got another Magnezone V, and that does it for all of the packs. That is everything. We're going to go try to trade some of these packs, like the Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, Chilling Rain. I have 94 Astral Radiance. I like to trade all these cards, all these packs, just to get some of the new stuff. But let's go to our deck manager. Let's see what we pulled out of Lost Origin. Just look at the V's. Actually, no. Let's just look through this way. We'll just stop at the stuff that we like, we're interested in. Pulled 2 of the Cinescorches. We pulled 5 of the Chandelure if you include the character art. Whoa. Okay. So we do have 9 Comfies. We have a playset though of reverse. We have a playset of the hollow that aren't going to be shown right here. And then we have the regular as well that we've pulled 5 of. So we do have some trade bait there with those. We pulled exactly 4 Cramorant. Exactly 4. We got lucky there. 3 Delphox. 1 of the Drapions. And those are meh. Berserker. Do have plenty of the Gengar as well, which is nice. I'm sure I also have Gengars from the pre-release, other than just the 5 that are there. I do like the character art though, so I'll probably be trading to get those. Giratina V-Star. Got 3 of those bad boys. That should be good. Got plenty of very vulnerable Arcanines. Got the non-hollow regular. We got the reverse hollow. We got the regular hollow. We got 2 character arts. So plenty of those. Gudras, we do have 3 Gudra Vs and 2 V-Stars, so we're actually not far from that deck. Um, Zoroark, we got 2 of the Vs and 5 of the V-Stars. Again, I do plan on actually trading this because I just like the artwork on this better. I like the colors. You have the colors in the background. You got all these colors kind of just around here. Um, so I really like that, the look of it. So go on here. We got 1 Kyurem V, 2 of the VMAX. We did pull 3 of the Machamp. We got a 2/2 line of Magnezone. The interesting Mimikyu. Don't have but 1 of it. And we pulled 2 of the Pikachu, 1 of the Pikachu VMAX. Pulled 4 Radiant Gardevoirs, 6 Radiant Sneaslers, 4 Radiant Steelixes. We got more than enough of each Radiant. We did get 2 of the Sableye that we needed. We got plenty of the Spiritomb. We got 5 of it. Only got 1 Trev. So Um, Thank you guys for watching. Those are all the cards that we got. Um, I think overall we got decent pulls. We pulled unfortunately three V-Star Girautinas, but zero Giratina Vs. Um, However, maybe that makes better for me for trading because maybe the Vs are cheaper than the V stars. We'll see. I think in Giratina's case, that is going to be fact. So again, thank you guys for watching. I do plan on making some more videos based on the decks that I'm playing, and I am going to Peoria here in a few weeks. So if any of you guys are there, feel free to come say hi. It'll be my first Pokemon tournament. That's a big tournament in a very, very long time. Almost 10 years, actually, since the last time I played at a major competitive event. I believe 2013, I went to a regionals in Indiana, I think was the last big event. And the event that I played, that was the only big event I think I played that year. And the year before, I actually had played nationals and qualified and everything for that. So, and I made top cut. So hopefully I can jump right back in. Probably won't, but hopefully I can jump right back in, be competitive, and look for a top cut at Peoria. But I do hope to upload some videos before going, and we'll see what deck I end up playing based on the testing from the decks I build. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys